Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. There is a saying, do not forget your roots. And I am a firm believer in that expression. And that leads me here. My father was a preacher, we moved around a lot, but I have a few key places in my life around the US of A that I hold very close to my heart. In fact, it's a good thing I'm wearing these glasses because as soon as I pulled into town, I started to tear up a little bit with the memories. Niceville, Florida. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's the Daily Woo. Are those petunias? Niceville. A nice town with nice folks, and they invite you to have a nice time. The population of Niceville now, I think, is around 12,000 people. I lived here in 1984 to 1988, 1989-ish. And it was considerably less than that. Still a small town, but it was really a small town back then. The trusty old McDonald's is still here. Iced coffee. Let's woo this. This intersection is very familiar, and that Subway over there used to be a convenience store. And if you take a left here and drive down that road, that was where I lived. My bicycle went down this way more times than can be counted. When I was young, this little teeny hill seems so incredibly steep. Looking at it now, I was making a mountain out of a molehill. My old stomping grounds, Hudson Circle. Oh man. This road was basically a horseshoe. You could enter on two different areas, but it would end up at the same road where that crazy small hill was. And there it is. The home that my family lived in right there. Right here in this little grassy area, my friends and I used to play baseball. This house had not been built yet, so the field was a lot more empty. But our home plate was right on the other side of this tree. I guess you could say this was my sandlot. The pitcher would stand right here, throw the baseball there, first base here, second, third where that tree is, and back home. And as we went farther into what was the outfield, all of this is new. This was a lot more wooded area, and I will never forget, because as a child, I found my first dirty magazine in those woods. That's something you never forget, right? We built a fort right along the edge of this nasty sewage drain. It used to continue on that way, and right in there we built like a little makeshift fort treehouse. That was kind of our home away from home. And once you exit out of the field, you would dump onto Scott Street. And straight ahead was my childhood home, and I used to play football with my friends all in this road right here. Football on concrete. Ah, to be young again. One of the worst bike wrecks I ever got into was right here at this fire hydrant. I turned this corner, and instead of going off the curb, I smashed into that fire hydrant at very high speeds. It was painful. It's a very unusual feeling to be standing at where you used to live. Memories that abound. Looking at this home really makes them flood back into my head. Good times there. The first time I ever watched Back to the Future was in that house, 1985, on VHS. I really wanted to be a professional baseball player in those days. Isn't life funny? I don't know if funny is the word, but life is very interesting. Oh man, look at this. Years ago, this gas station was called something else. It was basically a mom and pop convenience store. And in the corner, they had video games. And my family did not have a lot of money, so I would come up here, I'd walk up to the store and stand and watch other people play video games in the corner of the store. I wonder if the same electrical outlet that cooler's plugged into is where the video games were plugged into. Probably. There's nothing more exciting than telling a cashier of your memories and them not giving two craps whatsoever. I'm now gonna let you in on something very personal in my life. My very first kiss happened in that house. And I use that term very loosely. I was probably around 12 years old. A girl that I went to school with, her sister was having a birthday party, and inside there, they played this game where you take a piece of string and lifesavers, and you put the string around the other person's tongue or their teeth or something. I don't remember how it worked, but then you pull each other close, and my lips touched hers. It was very innocent. And it was years later that my second kiss happened, but that was where the first one was. Pretty historic. You can see in my side mirror, it says Rocky Bayou Christian School. This is where I was educated in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. And it was the last school I ever went to, because after that, I was homeschooled and then took my GED when I was 17 years old. And they have gotten new school buses since I went here. They used to have vans similar to the one I'm driving now. My 7th grade classroom was right inside that door. Pretty crazy. And when I went here, this gym had just been built. And look at this on the front of the bus, says San Diego. Now when I went here, we never took trips to California. Oh my gosh. Now that brings back some serious memories. Wow. The good old days. I spent an incredible amount of time in this building right here. Hard to believe that was 30 years ago. Where's the time go? Next stop, a very monumental piece of history. One of my best friends lived across town a little bit, and at his house he introduced me to something that I've never forgotten. Not cigarettes, not alcohol, not drugs, but this. It was right inside that home that I first tried the nectar of goodness in the mid-1980s. Cheers. Sorry. I also broke my arm in that yard playing football. That wasn't such a great memory. You gotta wonder if the city of Niceville got permission to use that, or if they just said, heck it, we're using it anyway. This sushi bar was not always a sushi bar. It used to be a McDonald's. Back in those days, for me, eating at McDonald's was a rare treat. A friend of mine had a $10 gift card. We rode our bikes all the way down here and got a couple Big Macs. We were the kings of men. But I disobeyed my father and left the house without permission. And my excitement of being out on the town came to a crashing halt. From a distance, I saw my father following us in the car, so we took some of these back roads on our bikes, and I found a secret hiding spot where he would never find us. We placed our bikes and ourselves right here, under this stairwell. He would never find us here. And then we peeked out, and his car was parked right there staring at us. He had found us. And this is the reason my family originally moved to this town. Niceville Christian Church. My dad was the minister here, so I spent pretty much every Sunday morning, Sunday night, and every Wednesday night inside that building. And one thing that will always permanently be etched in my mind is this circular driveway leading to the front door. And while we were living here, the church congregation had this crazy idea to try to dig up and find the old time capsule somewhere on the property that was placed here 20 years prior. So the whole congregation was out here digging around, rooting around, trying to find this time capsule, and no one ever found it. In fact, probably to this day, it is somewhere on the property, under the ground. Whatever happened to that time capsule, no one will ever know. Straight ahead in the strip mall is an old movie theater. I think it's closed now. But in 1988, it was open, and I saw Big Top Pee-wee right inside there. Judging by the signs on the wall, it hasn't been closed incredibly too long. You can still see some remnants in there, though. Ah, memories. And while we're on the topic of movies, the mid-80s was the pivotal point when it came to home entertainment. The VHS came onto the scene. And the very first VHS my family ever purchased was inside a dollar store that is right there where that Bell's outlet is now. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember what the title of the film was. We watched it one time. It was an old black and white murder mystery movie, but this opened up the floodgates, the possibilities of owning something and watching it on repeat over and over and over and over. So movies that I came to love, I came to memorize because of the VHS. Now most people might not remember this, but you used to have to rent VCRs from video rental places. And if you bought a new VHS, I'm not even kidding, the retail price was $89.99. Unless you got like a cheapie at a dollar store or bought it used. For real, almost $100. I'm not even kidding. This building here that's now a Goodwill used to be a place called Bay Lighting. And while my dad was working at the church, he also worked at this place. And one day while he was in his office around the back, the entire building burned down. Now him and the other employees escaped unscathed and they rebuilt the building. By the way, I'm standing next to a fire exit. And to be honest, I really can't remember what it used to look like. Maybe his office was in there, maybe it was back there. A lot has changed. A little reminiscing, and I scored a couple good CDs. Oh yeah, can't forget that one. Boom. In 1988, on that very football field, something amazing happened. I sat on that hillside in a very overly sold out game and watched this high school, this unknown Niceville High, win the state championship in football. It was a pretty cool moment, not only for my childhood, but for the town. Since then, they haven't won another, and it was cold that night too. You think of Florida, you think of heat. Not that night, it was chilly. And since we're on school property, what YouTuber went to school here? It wasn't me, I didn't go to school here. What YouTuber graduated from Niceville High? Columbo-like research skills. Do it. Today has definitely reminded me that time waits for no one and will continue on whether you like it or not. It's crazy looking back on things around town that it was so long ago, 3 decades ago, since I've been here. It's amazing to me how fast time just carries on. And you have to go out and do what you want to do, because as cliche as it is, you only go around this crazy circle one time. It's good to come back and reminisce, but it's also good to push forward and move forward and do the things you want to do. And then go back and look at what you used to do. See how much you have progressed and evolved and pushed forward. If you want to see the continuation of this vlog, you have to go back a little ways to TheDailyWoo day 1466. Just go to the YouTube search bar and type in TDW 1466. After here in Niceville, my family moved to Eufaula, Oklahoma. And after I left California on this road trip cross country, I stopped off in Eufaula. Vlog over!